Good morning, everybody. How y'all doing? Yamez here with Island Metal Forge. With me, my co-host Alexis from Transcendental Artist Studios. This is Impractical Blacksmiths Sunday morning gathering, and good morning, Trail Dust, Shane Lalone, Jack Pines, Hubcap, and all the other lurkers out there. How y'all doing? It is officially December. What's up, Eric? It is officially December, and it is cold outside. Actually, we're a little bit of a heat wave right now. It's 70 degrees and humid as hell. But I digress. What y'all up to, and what y'all plans? So, how was your week there, Alexis?
Yeah, my week was it was busy. I've had the last month and a half where it's been like, we've been working 2 or 3 days a week. Enough to pay the bills.
Mm-hmm.
It is kind of nice to work 2 on, 5 off, and still get a 40-hour work weekend. But this week was not that. It was 5 on, 2 off, worth almost 90 hours. So I mean, it was something else. I tell you, I didn't have time to do squat other than work and sleep. So a little bit of reading. I did have a chance over the last couple of days to, the little blacksmith challenge group that I'm part of. Um, Congratulations to Thomas for winning with his Viking lock. I think it was pretty cool. Um, but yeah, no, this month we're going to do belt buckles. So last night I sat down and I can't draw at all. Like I can barely draw a stick figure without screwing it up. So I visualize stuff like I can see exactly what I'm going to do in my head. And so like a normal smart person would like um, draw that out so you remember it. I can't do that. Like I cannot make my fingers do what my brain sees. So I have to like describe it. I write it out in words and describe my thought process and the order of operations and how I want to. I have to write it all out in written word, and so I've got like half of a legal pad worth of description on how I want to build this thing. It's like it's not a drawing, but that's my process. So um,
Yeah, I can
yeah.
only draw with my power hammer. Dun-dun-dun.
And John Burnell, we're talking about like dinner plate belt buckles, not like the little D ring with the thing. We're talking about like you want a rodeo belt buckle. So it's gonna be interesting.
Oh yeah. But I'm just reading through the chat. Ben Toombs is already snow plowing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Adam Allen says I like that normal smart person. Now I know where I'm not and what the problem is. Uh, uh, there should be a comma in between normal and smart. You know what I mean? A normal person and a smart person, not a normal smart person. Because apparently I'm either. I'm
Yes,
barely getting
John.
by.
Yes, John. We're saying you're incapable of making a big belt buckle. Prove us wrong. It's going to be gold and silver inlay. Have a hidden knife with a spring-loaded button. You know, spring-loaded belt knife. Yeah. So I tell you, I would kill for a 90-hour work week.
Yeah, right. And if any of y'all are interested in participating in that, get with Thomas. Thomas Goodman. Yeah, he can
The Thomas
get
Goodman.
you the one and only, not the imposter. So make
Okay.
sure make sure it's the one. Make sure it's the guy with the blue check mark.
Right. No, I'd kill for a 90-hour work week right now. Um, was it Thanksgiving week? I had 14 hours. This past week I had 16 hours. Um, so it's been like it's killing me. You know, if it weren't for some of my financial decisions, I'd be screwed right now. But yeah, so well, my week, let me see. I can't say I worked and worked and worked. I it was the kind of work week where it's like the kind of jobs where they're kind of far out there, so it's a lot of driving. It was driving between jobs and getting them done, and then being off by noon. And yeah, I took Friday off, and I stripped a bunch of wire and recycled a bunch of copper, and got rid of some copper that I really wanted to keep, but oh well, what you gonna do? Um, Let me see. Not much in the shop at all. Not much in the shop at all. Doing a lot of computer work lately, and yeah, it's pretty much been my week is sitting right in this spot, working on the computer. It's actually destroying my arm. I'm gonna set up a desk, and that's one thing. Probably next Sunday, you guys will have a different view behind me. I shouldn't be on the couch. I'm either going to be set up over by the windows or, closer to the TV. So, yeah. Um, you know, just kind of a reorganization of my room. uh, Aside from that, it's like I do know that with it being slow at work, I am gonna have to get out to the shop and get some cleaning done. Now that it's kind of chilled off a little bit, get some more yard work done, and yeah, anybody who wants to come and help, come on.
Oh, who is it? Alan said Rusty Hubcap Forge. It's this. There's now this disconnect between a freaking screen name and a first name, and I'm just like drawing blanks all the way down the list. Yeah. Anyways, yeah, Alan is like Thomas is in work beat all the time because Thomas and Roy just come and visited him this last weekend, and
Right.
yeah, Thomas is the kind of Thomas comes across as the kind of guy that if he did meth or cocaine, he would fall asleep. You know what I mean? Like he's a million miles an hour on water. He runs like that on water, and if he took speed, he'd just be like,
Yeah.
out. And I've actually known people like that were, I don't know, maybe it's an ADD thing or an ADHD. I don't know, one of those things where like people that had to have Adderall to like function. Like for somebody that doesn't have that condition, Adderall is like, I feel my hair growing, and for them it's just like focus thing. Yeah, that's kind of that situation. I don't know. Thomas is a good guy. I like the hell out of him though. Can't hardly get a word in edgewise.
Right. Yeah. Over the hedge where they give the squirrel an energy drink. um, all the seals would blow out. But yeah, so today, like I said, not much going on in my neck of the woods. Today we're talking about Christmas preparation, and Jim Patterson, how you doing? Has been a while. What is up? And hey, Roy. Yeah, today we're talking about Christmas preparations, and there's a lot that goes into it actually. And I had a brilliant thought, and I just absolutely forgot what it was, and that's what actually prompted me to think of Christmas preparations. Um, but yeah, part of it is aside from stocking up on stuff to sell to people for Christmas, gifts and everything. Um, so we're all kind of in a unique position that our Christmas gifts can be freaking awesome. We don't have to go out and fight people in stores to buy the latest Furby or whatever toy is popular these days. You can literally run out to the shop and hammer out some steal goodies for all of our family and friends. You know, so uh, it's kind of one of those times where you think, what can I make for such and such person? What does such and such person like? What would they like? What would you know? And allows you to get pretty creative with your family, you know. And I'm sure a lot of the wives and husbands and kids are like, oh gee, thanks, another bottle opener. Oh yay. What's this gilded scroll? I got 5 of them. Are you nuts? um but yeah,
Yeah, I've got.
and go on.
Oh, I was gonna say that, and that's the thing. Is like I'm not real big on Christmas. I mean, it's just like, okay. I participate to an extent because I'm required to. I mean, society says that I must participate, so I reluctantly put on a smile and a Merry Christmas and whatever. Um, I just for some reason I just don't agree with the idea of like everybody should buy everybody something or everybody needs to give everybody a gift. It's like, yeah, I don't know. My ex-wives, before they were my ex-wives, would always ask me, "What do you want for Christmas?" I'm like, nothing. If I want something, I'll just go buy it. You know what I mean? It's like there's nothing that you could get me that I wouldn't already get myself. And I mean, like I got an idea. Don't spend my money buying me something. That would be great.
Right.
But yeah, yeah. So it is what it is. But I do like every year. I kind of try to make something or pass along something I've made to a member of my family. Um, which brings me to a kind of another thing. It's like once upon a time, I made a Bowie knife out of carbon fiber and titanium, and for a competition, so to speak. And I spent like $400 in material to build this thing, and it was just kind of a well, I don't know, maybe that's my mo. Think outside the box, try to do something nobody else has ever done, and so, anyways, I didn't even get included in the competition. So it was like I didn't even qualify, and I was like, "Ouch!" And then I'm sitting here like last night after I've written out my whole plan, and I'm like, "Let's see, total cost. I'm gonna have to put out about $150 for all the stuff I'm gonna need," and I'm like, maybe I shouldn't do that. Yeah, I don't know. But anyway, at the end of the day, what I'm making for this month's challenge is going to be a Christmas present for somebody. So my dad wound up getting my the carbon fiber buoy at one point in time, and so I think this one is going to go to somebody else. So it'll
So
it'll it'll make sense. It'll make sense in a month.
so somebody
Obviously, it's
is
going to be a late.
somebody is getting a belt buckle for Christmas.
Yeah, but it's
uh,
it's not it's not going to be it's going to be a display piece with a stand and all that.
oh, so
Kind of like, kind of like,
it's
kind of like the way, like when you win a buckle at a bull riding, or I mean, like I have my brother's got lots of buckles. My nieces all they've won Cheyenne, the daddy of them all. So I mean, I have never won a buckle, but lots of people in my family have, and they either come depending on the deal. They either come like in a little cardboard box with the white cardboard like jewelry does with the white squishy
belt,
stuff in it. No, no, they don't come with a
foam,
belt.
foam, foam,
Or
foam.
they come on with a like an acrylic stand type thing, so you can like set them up and display them. It just depends on where you're at, and so yeah, I'm gonna do a little display stand and all that for it, assuming it works and I don't screw it up and I don't wind up melting something. You know what I mean? There's always the possibility that everything could go sideways, and I wind up chunking it across the shop and walking away from it. So you know.
Right, right. Um, yeah, I do like
And,
roses
and
and flowers and
I'm not the person that screws something like that up at a certain point and goes, "Oh, I guess I'm going to start over." I'm just like, "Nope, I'm done."
see. When I screw something up, I especially if it's a gift for somebody. If I've got an idea in my head that I'm trying to get it out, and I screw it up, like it's up here, I know I can get it to work. I know I can get it to work. And with that whole mistakes happen, it's like I can backtrack in my head, like okay, where did I screw up? How could I have of avoided this mishap? So it's like I'll go back and I'll it might not be right away because you have that aggravation of, oh man, like freaking the last 4 hours just wasted, and but I will ultimately, hit it back up and uh what I usually do is at least get it back to the point before I would have screwed it up, you know. Um for example, with a split cross, and I use that as an example because I know this step, 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 and then boom, Frederick's cross. Um, it's like if I screw up the cuts, on it, and it's like, oh man, I will stop, throw that in the scrap pile, and restart the cuts to get them right, so that the next time I start up, uh, and again, split cross is just an example. I can make a split cross, in like no time at all. So who's
It takes
spending
it
four
takes
hours
longer.
on
It takes longer to make the two cuts than it does anything else.
it? I know, right? But well, so it's like I'm just using it as an example. I'll get back to the point where it's ready to actually make the cross, and I'll set that aside and be like, all right, now I got it set, I got it good. If I'm doing uh tongs and I screw up right up to the point where I put the rivet in, I'll redo it up to the point where I would put the rivet in and then set it down, um, just so that all those steps are done and I don't got to worry about it next time. Uh, there are a few instances where when I'm making something, it's like I just have to stop. I just have to full stop, shut off, and get out and clear my head. But yeah, um, that's the trouble with Christmas preparations and everything, especially making gifts where you kind of have a time limit. Unless you're so organized and so well planned out that you make all this stuff before December. For those people who sit there in June and say, here's my Christmas list of people I'm going to make things for, you know, looking at you, boy.
Where you
um,
go? Christmas shopping. I'll be back in a minute.
well, it's like,
In September.
it's like Jay, it's like he'll start Christmas cards like for the every year the company I work for sends out Christmas cards to its entire customer list. And uh he goes all out with it and everything. And it's like he'll start working on them in like August, end of August, September, like he'll get the card stock ready. He'll design this year's Christmas card. He'll get the he puts calendar magnets, um in each card to send out and stuff like that. And he'll get all that stuff ready in over the summer, and then like September, he'll start printing them out and working on them. Because in the past, he's like, "Oh, I'll take care of it end of November," and then, or like in November, and then he's just panic, and it's like, "Oh man, the printer keeps jamming," or "Oh, there's this little blah 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 blah," or "Oh, I ran out of ink," and it's like, you really need to start this stuff freaking, Christmas is over, start next year's, you know, because I believe Roy always brings up the good point that it's like, um, if as far as a business standpoint, it's one of the, if you're making things for people to give as gifts, it can be one of the most profitable times of the year. I do remember a couple of years ago when I was doing horseshoe hearts. I couldn't keep up with orders. I had to like tell people, no, I can't make anymore. I can't make anymore. I was running to every place, around trying to find horseshoes. I was ordering horseshoes from across the state, and everything. And it's like I just flew through them, and it's like, man, it'd be really nice to have all these things made before Christmas. But yeah, the entire few weeks leading up to Christmas, it was nonstop, nonstop. Um,
Yeah, and that's so for me, it's also like this is a rough kind of year as well because I mean, like this week aside, between like the middle of October to the middle of February is like my slow season. That's the oil companies have spent all of their, and we gotta wait to get a couple weeks into the first quarter before things start ramping back up, and so things really slow down to the point where I'm only working like I said in the how was your week, working a couple days a week. Well, that kind of stretches me financially. You know what I mean? Because it's like you've got this cushion built up because not everybody does, but some of us do. You have this cushion built up. You know, you put away money in the good times so that you've got something to fall back on in the slow times, and it kind of evens out, right? Well, so by the time I get to Christmas, it's like, ooh, I am barely, just barely making my commitments, and so uh, money's tight, and so and everybody's like wants something, and it's like, hey, I can make you something, which is easy, and I mean, like, and I did that a couple of years ago. Like, I sat out there and I spent a whole day making like wreath hangers and like ornaments for like candy canes and snowflakes and like tree ornaments and stuff. And so I sent everybody, not everybody, but like my family, I sent them little kind of like blacksmith related Christmas swag, and everybody loved it, thought it was the neatest thing. And I haven't really done that since because it's like, once again, I'm plagued by that. I've already done that. Why would I want to do it again? Uh, so that is a fault of mine. Is like I always got to do something a little bit different. And in past, what I used to do, and I haven't done in a couple years now, is I would in like summertime, give or take, I would buy each of my kids a gold eagle, not a full eagle, but like a 1/10 gold eagle, and put it away, and I told them, is like, you don't get it, it goes in the safe. I'll give you all of them when you turn 25, and I still have them. I mean, I've got, each of my kids has a stack of 1/10 gold eagles. Some of them are eagles. Some of them are. I switch it around. Some of them
Pigeons.
are. No, 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 no. Some of them are African cougar hen or Australian, whatever. I don't remember what those are. Some of them are Canadian maple leafs, but they're all 1/10 gold pieces. And I started out just doing eagles, and then I switched it up to do some from the different countries and whatnot. But I actually haven't done that in quite a while, just because it's been like, um, buying my house has it put such a financial strain on me that it's just like I can't really do anything. You know what I mean? But by this time next year, I won't have to worry about that anymore. And
Right?
so, I can't wait. Oh, I can't wait. I'll be able to just, well, I'm not going to say go hog wild, but I won't have to um, sweat it all the time. So
Right.
um, I can get back on track with my kids' stacks, and you know, and what they do with it when they're 25 is up to them. They can hold on to it, and years later be like, man, look at this stack of gold coins my dad got me, or they can be like, all right, well, that's $3,000 worth of gold. Well, let's go cash that in. It's up to them.
Right. Right. Was it? I was
But
actually
I,
looking
I
at.
and my oldest daughter is so mad because I won't give it to her, and I'm just like, but she's in a spot, and I'm just like, no, I mean, I'm waiting till you're 25 so that you've got a little bit more maturity and that reflection, and you're more likely to not just want the stack so you can go sell it. But I mean, if you want to, that's fine. But um, if I know if I give it to her at 20, 21, she's gonna be like, "Oh, I could totally
Money,
buy a sack of wheat."
right? No, it's like I always have that. It's that what if isms, you know. Like I know back in 2014, when I had gotten my inheritance, one of the things that I was going to do, I was going to take $10,000 and drop it into Bitcoin, and that was at $200 per Bitcoin at the time. And my buddy, because him, convinced me not to. He goes, "Oh no, we're going to start a business instead," which he and ultimately, ran into the ground. Um, and had I done that at the all-time high, I'd have been nearly a billionaire. It's like it would have been insane. But it's like I could say that with hindsight, but I know me back then, and I know what I've gone through since then. Had I had that, you know, um, would I have been able to hold and wait until the spike, or would I have seen that $200 per go to $1,000 and be like, ooh, and then cash it all out? You know, probably.
And
I probably would have.
I think about that as well because I have a similar situation when Bitcoin was $5. I mean, I started paying attention to it when it was about $1. You know what I mean? I was like, I wonder. I mean, like, and then it hit five. I don't hardly. I don't. I rarely do things on a whim. I usually think about it for a hot minute first. You know what I mean? Like the situation the other day when you mentioned something, and I was just like, and I spent about 8 hours mulling it over before I made my decision, rather than just go, oh, I've got to do this, I've got to do that real quick, and so in I remember mulling it over when Bitcoin was $1 and thinking, oh man, I should really throw 100 in. You know what I mean? Just for the heck of it, I should really throw 100 in. And I thought about it, and I calculated out my next week's paycheck and whatever. And then by the time I decided, I was like, you know what, I'm going to do it. It's just $100. 100 Bitcoin. What's that? What's the harm in that? If I lose it, I lose it, right? And then when I went to actually, look at how to do it and buy 100 Bitcoin for $100, it was $5 a Bitcoin, and I was like, oh yeah, no, it's there's no way it's going to get more. It's going to get higher than that, so I'm not going to buy it now.
Yeah,
And I didn't. And I mean, so if I had bought that day, I would have bought. I would have wound up with 20 Bitcoin.
yeah,
And I can honestly now I can honestly say I would have never sold the whole bag, but I would have definitely sold one here or one there, and then like reinvested part of it. But if I had done that back in 2002 or no 3, yeah, 2003, 4, somewhere in that area. If I'd have done that back then, I would probably have like one Bitcoin left right now that I would just be totally not willing to get rid of, and so I'd be sitting there looking at that $36,000 going, man, I could have 36 grand if I just sell that one Bitcoin. But I also know that I for sure would have, like remember when it hit 60, 69, almost 70,000, and then it started going back down. I would have probably bailed out at 60 on its way back down, and just saved all but one. So I would have made a pretty fair stack on its way back down to stabilize. But it's all what ifs,
yeah. No,
and
and how that ties into preparations. It's like um, having that, like you were talking about gold, gifting gold, and it's like having that mentality of just wait, like think for the future instead of like you say, thinking things through, you know, and then waiting and then waiting and then waiting, or
Well, and I think the main motivation for that was like just like over the years, my kids, you get them Christmas presents, and I mean, gosh, you go out and you spend, and this is back in the day. I mean, I couldn't imagine what that Christmas bill looks like nowadays, but you go out and spend $300 or $400 a kid, and each thing you get them, they spend 15 minutes on, and then forget all about it, and don't touch it again for the rest of the year. It's like you spend a whole bunch of money to see this joy in your family's face for half a
for a
day.
day.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's like, and that's one of the things that I dislike about Christmas is that, like Roy was saying about materialistic mentality, and so for me, it's always been a struggle to find something that's gonna last. You know what I mean? And my thought on the gold coins is you know um, they will last because it's not something you can just you're not going to look at it and then throw it away. You're not going to look at it and you know what I mean. It'll if even if they decide to sell them when I give them to them, they'll always remember it. You know what I mean? That'll on their 25th Christmas. They'll always remember getting that stack. So and we'll see.
Okay, I have to bring everybody's attention to this comment that it's just like I think Ben was typing with his little arm because he goes, "How about giving them a gold pan? What's the same? Give a man a fish she can eat for a day. Teaching the fish he can do something." Ben, what? let's okay. I want to read that
Okay,
again.
I
How
will
about
say
giving them a
me and
gold pan? What's the
gold
same?
pen. Yeah,
Question mark.
say
Give a man a
saying.
fare and she can eat for a day. Period. Teaching the fish he can. Period. Do something. You do something, Ben.
Ben's hitting the eggnog a little early today.
Oh my gosh.
Um, I used to take my kids gold panning. I don't know if Ben was just joking around or whatever, but I used to me and my kids and the first ex-wife. We were members of the Gold Prospecting Association of America, Durango, Colorado chapter, the Durango Diggers, and the club had a gold claim up near Natarita, Colorado, and we'd go out there with wetsuits and shovels and sieves and just like dig up and get all this pay dirt and initially I would sit there and pan it at the river, but I tell you what, when you're hunched down like squatted down and just panning, it only takes about an hour before your back hurts, your arms hurt. It's tough. It's a little bit easier if you're standing out in the middle of the river so you can be upright, but did have a good time with that. The second and third, fourth trips or whatever, we would just separate out all of the pay dirt and then just bring it home to process at home over the year instead of just trying to get it all processed in one deal. And at the end of the day, you bring home, I don't know, 400 or 500 pounds of pay dirt, and you wind up with oh, I don't know, something in the neighborhood of like maybe half a gram of gold, maybe less than that, out of 300 or 400 pounds of dirt and 30, 40 hours of work on it. So, but it's fun. Mm, you
Yeah.
know, and that was the point, is it was fun. It was family time, something we got to do together. And, uh, I miss those days.
Yep. 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 But you see everybody in the
Oh
chat's
my God.
talking about age.
Roy was born in 1988.
I
Like
know
he's
he's a
post space,
baby.
post Challenger. I mean, like, wow. I remember the first time I had a Swamper. That was born in 1987, and we were just rolling down the road and having some conversation. I was like, "Well, you remember when the Challenger blew up?" And he's like, "What are you talking about?" I was like, "Space shuttle, Challenger, January 6th, 1986." And he's like, "Dude, I was born in 1987." I was like, "Are you freaking kidding?" Oh man, I'm old. And that
Oh,
was and that was 20 years ago.
Oh God, I know. Like there are. I still find it hard to fathom that there are people out there who never lived in a world without YouTube, without the internet, like without phones, you know. Like I remember back when, you know, cell phones came out and it was like, you know, oh, I want a cell phone, I want a cell phone. And it's like, why? It's like, what do you need one for? And it's like, no, because everybody's getting them. I'm like, and it's like, and you know, you don't need to have that kind of constant, you know, contact with people. You didn't back then, you know. It was, you know, you come home, hey man, did anybody call for me? And you get the any messages. It's like you go, who would call you?
or when I remember, before there was even the voicemail thing on your landline, you had an actual answering machine at your, you'd walk in, you hit the button, beep, hey, it's so and so, call me back.
And it was tapes.
Party lines, dude. My
Oh,
parents
party
had a party
lines.
when I was 4, and I would just like, I didn't know, I would just pick up the phone and just listen to other people talking,
Yeah.
Oh, that's crazy.
Let me see. You know what? In the days of books, I do remember books. I used to read all the time, and I haven't picked up a book in. Last time I picked up a book was the last time we had a power outage here for a hurricane.
You know,
It was-
trailed us. I was born in 1955 and remember dial phones. There was nothing more frustrating when I was in like junior high than trying to call the radio station for, like the contest things. Ninth caller, wins concert tickets to so and so. And I'm trying to dial the radio station on a freaking rotary phone. You know how hard it is to be caller number 9 on a rotary phone?
yeah. Oh, where did this go? Why Christmas preparations go to cell phones?
Yeah, I don't know. We got
Oh,
sidetracked, but
this tangent. It's a fun one. It's a fun. No. Like I mean, it kind of ties in because Christmas gifts. It's like these days everybody wants these fancy things and whatnot. It's like man, I remember. You know, a Christmas gift, you'd get a hoop, a wooden hoop with a freaking stick to roll around. You know, and you loved it, or a hula hoop. You know.
I remember getting lawn darts. That was awesome.
Oh,
God.
yep.
Never played lawn darts. All we ever did was dodge them. Throw them. The idea was you throw it up as near as you can, and then don't let it hit you.
That was back when kids were raised like Spartan warriors. It's like being a kid back then was really survival of the fittest.
We were feral.
Yeah. Well, it's what's nuts is they took slip and slides off the market because they're too dangerous. How?
Well, I mean, okay. No, okay. Well, no. Lawn darts, I don't understand how somebody didn't see that coming. You know what I mean? Before that, like, I don't understand how somebody didn't go, hey, this is, kids are just going to throw these straight up in the air, right? Yeah, because that's the first thing. I mean, like every kid I know, that's the first thing we did, just straight up.
Yeah. Yep. I remember good times.
But they were good times because I never got hit by one.
Right. Yeah.
And then one of my friends, we in my neighborhood, we all had like longbows, like actual longbows. And one of my friends thought it was a good idea that we stand around in the front yard and shoot arrows straight up in the air and then watch for them to come down and step out of the way. And I'm just like, that's not a good idea.
Right. No,
Like,
I remember
playing that.
I remember the big science gifts gifts. For Christmas, you'd get these, like my first biology set, or like, the elements, like these science kits, and they would come with like these dangerous chemicals and radioactive materials, and it's like my first Geiger counter. And it's like, what the hell? you know you get some like dangerous stuff in a little vial, and it's like, what's this? Oh, this is Ebola. It's like, put it under the microscope and see what it looks like.
Yep, I got those. I got the microscope kits like that, and grow your own. What are those things? Those shrimp? I can't remember what they're called, but brine shrimp, And then the water powered rocket. I only got to launch mine twice before it got lost. It went up
Right.
and it came down somewhere we were never able to figure out.
Oh yeah, old
Roy,
Christmas presents. It all ties in. It all ties in. Even the eye is trying to get you on track. Yep, we try. You know what? Deranged. I don't think I've seen any kids making potato cannon. The only time I hear of of potato cannons these days are like the competitions. I don't see anybody out there making potato cannons for fun anymore, and that's a shame, because I mean, I live in an area with fields as far as the eye can see. A potato cannon, see how far you can get it, or a pumpkin chunker. It's like, I want to build a trebuchet, damn it.
I've always wanted to build a trebuchet.
I want to build a trebuchet.
I actually wanted to do the competitive pumpkin chunking too, but air cannon style, But yeah, when I was in high school, when we built the potato guns and tennis ball guns or whatever, and I don't know why we never thought of compressed air. We always just would get the cutting torch going real good, so it's got that good oxygen and acetylene mix, and then fill the tube with turn it off, cut the flame, and then fill the thing with oxygen and acetylene, and then light it off. Oh my gosh! I mean, I can't believe we never blew ourselves up.
Right.
In hindsight, that was a really bad idea, but at the time it made sense. Let's just make a hydrogen bomb real quick.
Yeah,
That's
why not?
what we'll launch our
with. Granddad Sword's blacksmithing. Hello. Oh, bite me, you guys.
blacksmithing all year long. Come on.
Yeah, it's Christmas time. We could talk about what we want to talk about. So, blacksmithing.
We went from Christmas preparations to toys so old that I remember when they were new.
Yeah. I actually, you know what, if I may, I actually think that some of the shows like this one, where it's like, we start with a topic and then just go off on tangents, they have some of the best conversation. It's like, just press record and talk. Hey, properly designed PVC, man. Nah.
Yeah, I mean, and it's I sometimes I don't understand how that PVC contained all that rapid expansion of gas, and just all went out one end instead of just.
Well, if you think about the physics of it, no, if you think about the physics of it, it's like, a sealed container fails at its weakest point. If the weakest point is a soft vegetable or a gourd shoved in one end, that's its weakest point. That's the way it will.
That is not correct, though, because I built a cannon, an actual cannon with 2-inch thick with the wall. The wall thickness was 2 inches thick. This thing is about 4 feet long, and oh god, it was heavy. I made it out of a piece of drill collar, and so it had an 1.5-inch bore, and I put an 1.5-inch wax ball in it, and it blew the back plate. I welded on a 1-inch plate, back plate, and I V'd it. I cut a V and then welded it. I must have had 10 passes on that thing. It blew the back plate off, and of course I packed it with about 3/4 of a cup of black powder, and then I had a small 1/8-inch hole drilled in it with a fuse. It blew the back plate off and expanded that chamber section by 1/2 inch. So the whole back end spread out, blew the plate off, and the wax ball. I mean, it either melted or went out the front. I don't know whatever happened to that, but yeah, it totally blew the back end off my cannon, and I'm just like, huh. I don't know if I used too much powder or uh, the metal was just too soft. Yeah, I don't know.
That is weird.
I did not see that coming. And oh boy, was that a boom too. I went out into the sticks. This is when I lived up in New Mexico. I went out to the Badlands, and I got this cannon in the back of the truck, and I'm just like, I drive, and I'm not even in my truck. I borrowed my, because I was a swamper at the time, so I borrowed my driver's pickup to take this thing out, and I drove by these people that were out shooting, at a hillside. You just throw up some targets, BLM land, do whatever, just clean up your mess. And so I drive by them, and I go about a mile further out into the sticks, and then I find a spot where I can set it, and I put like 3 feet of fuse on it, which was way too much because I'm like, I light the fuse and I run, and I jump over the other side of the hill, and I wait and I wait and I wait, and I was like, I wonder if the fuse went out. What went wrong? Why hasn't it gone off? Because it's been minutes. And then all of a sudden, just boom, and it echoes through the canyon walls and everything. And I was like, "Oh my god, that was really loud." And then I went over the hill, and my whole cannon was blown apart. And I was like, "Well, that didn't work." Loaded it back in the truck, and never expanded on that further.
Yeah, I think we need to revisit that. Find out what went wrong. Your your welding squirrels were not up to par.
That's entirely possible.
Let's see. But wow, what a what a day. Oh, I like John Burnell. He goes, I tell people about this group I belong to that discusses blacksmithing, but all have ADHD and can't stay on topic, like Ben trying to type. Yep. Oh yeah. So reeling that all, let's tie this all into a neat little pack. Okay, here. Okay. How this all ties into Christmas preparations is you have to prepare for things. You
I
have
would
to.
I would like to ask the chat, if you're making things for Christmas, like Christmas ornaments or Christmas related stuff. Are you guys making anything for either your house or the house of your relatives or neighbors or whatever, or anything like that? What are you guys? Are you guys doing anything blacksmithing related for the Christmas or holiday season? And I mean, I'm probably going to do some a little bit this year. So depending on how much work I have over the next couple weeks. But um, yeah, I mean, I plan on doing a couple candy canes, and maybe a couple snowflake type situations, and we'll see. But my plan is to do a little bit this year, and mostly for my house, though.
Yeah. I really, I don't know. I'm gonna make a bunch of bottle openers. I'm gonna do split crosses and horseshoe hearts.
John
Yeah.
Burnell's family got sick of blacksmithing presents years ago, right?
Roy's blanks. Yeah. Speaking of which, you can buy a whole bunch of Christmas gift project blanks over at blacksmithingpdfs.com. This guy I know, he gets them all made and then has his hand model clean them all up, and then they package them and send them out. Real great operation they have there. What was the dude's name? Ray? Yeah.
Yeah, something like that. Honestly, I think at this point, I mean, like Thomas moves so fast. I think Roy just sits in the corner drinking coffee and watching, going, "Damn, I remember when I could do that."
Right? Let me see. But yeah, so also, Roy, what day is your uh, Christmas giveaway special party live stream? decorated the tree with forged Christmas ornaments, and it's just like 15th of December, right on, right on.
See, I knew I was right. Roy's the old man of the shop.
Right.
Look out the window. It's my fun.
But yeah, man, we did December 15th, 5 to 7 p.m. Eastern. All right. Well, we did get way off topic, but I feel we brought it back. I feel we brought it back at the end there.
Kevin, man of the shop. I have kids older than you, Roy.
We all do. But with that, it is pushing towards 11, and I figure we can move into our final thoughts. And what do you got? Here's a question before we do that. What do y'all want to talk about next week? Kind of thinking we do, we don't plan anything for December because the holiday season comes up and everybody's busy or, getting ready for, Christmas. So it's kind of, a crapshoot as far as topics. So what would you guys like to talk about next week? It's like you can leave your comments in the Forge Chat Discord server or email them over to us or just message them, whatever. But yeah, think about that and let us know so that, next week our preparations are a little bit more streamlined. Either that or we're just going to...
Next week we'll just throw it on Adam. What do you want to talk about?
Yeah. But yeah, so with that, I suppose we move to our final thoughts.
Granddad's got a good idea. Favorite bowls to make.
Yeah.
Nobody's gonna say tongs.
F my phone, go finger for a new phone. What? Then go home, you're drunk.
Man, final thoughts. Bah humbug. That's all I got to say. No. I don't know. This I feel a disconnect from society this time of year. You know what I mean? Because I feel like I'm the only person that's just like, eh. I'm not anti-Christmas by any means. I'm just like, eh. It's just not a big deal to me. But in the moment, I do enjoy it. I think, and I hope you guys do too. I hope you get way more enjoyment out of this the holiday season than I do, because obviously somebody does because it's a big deal. So y'all have a great week, and maybe we'll see you next week, and we'll talk about something that's actually of substance rather than just sitting here bumping our gums for no reason for an hour. So
it wasn't for no reason. We had a lot of people. Let me see. My final thoughts are, yeah, I'm kind of in the same boat. I'm not anti-Christmas at all. I've just had so few good Christmases. I do have happy Christmas memories, but it's Christmas time. I guess I get that seasonal issue. I don't know. But yeah, I hope everybody has a great day. I hope everybody, it's like gets out there and gets, is productive, and just I'm thankful everybody was able to be here for us this year and, help out, make this show as fun as it is. And Roy, come to my live stream and I'll make everybody love Christmas. It feels like a threat. I'll make you love Christmas. But yeah, it's just big shout out to my co-hosts Adam and Alexis. Y'all are fantastic, and yeah, I apologize that I wasn't so upbeat today, but I got some other stuff going on.
And when I was a kid, I was just on the Christmas thing there. When I was a kid, you'd get a Christmas card from somebody, and really the only thing you're worried about is like how much money's in the card, and of course your parents make you read the card, of course I'm talking about back in the day when you had the shoulder mounted video camera, and you're doing the Christmas home movies and stuff. Um, but now, honestly, I mean, like, God, I really do love getting a Christmas card, and just like with a personal note, hey, hope you had a
Mm-hmm.
great year or whatever, and a signature, just getting a good a heartfelt card to me is heart. It's like, oh, that's so sweet. They thought about me. And every year I'm like, I need to do Christmas cards because I've got my little blacksmith book that's got everybody's addresses in it, and I'm like, I really need to get Christmas cards and get them in the mail. And then by the time I like have time to do it, it's like Christmas is like 5 days away, and I'm like, yeah, there's no way this shit's making it in the mail that fast. And,
Yeah.
and even last year, I had a stack of Christmas cards that I hadn't stamped yet, but they were all like handwritten. I mean, I'd written a note in each one, and stacked it up and addressed it. And then by the time I had time to mail them, it was Christmas Eve, and I was like, nope. And they sat there until about mid-January, and I was like, all right, I'm just going to throw them away, and I'll try again next year. So,
Or you could
all of you
save
that
them
have,
for next year.
for all of you that have never gotten a Christmas card from me, and I have your address, I've made you a Christmas card. I never got it in the mail, but someday, I will beat that gremlin.
Right. With that, I feel we can call that. As Roy says, he'll be extra jolly for everyone. So, yeah, crank it up a notch for all of those of us who aren't jolly. But with that, I hope everybody has a great time, and I already said that. Y'all have a wonderful one, and we're gonna go ahead and end it here. So, yeah. Hope you guys have a good one. I gotta stop saying that. I'm just gonna end it. I'm embarrassing myself now. Goodbye. I'll see you guys all later.